Hi, let's start saving on rightsizing with EC2 instances. So the difficulty of this section should be medium because it will highly depends on if your instances are on production environment. Let's dive in. So you have different types of rightsizing. The first and famous one will be downsizing, meaning you are keeping the same family here, M5, and you are lowering your instance size, for example, X large to large. So you have all the instance details here. Between a M5 X large and M5 large, you are dividing the price by 2, but you are also dividing the CPU by 2 and the memory by 2. So you only want to do that if your max CPU and max memory are below 40%. So it's easy to switch. Then you have the upsizing. So this is the opposite. So you are not going to win some money here. But imagine your CPU and memory are over 90%, let's say 95%. You don't want to reach 100%. So you might want to upsize it before it's too late. Last thing is switching instance family. So for example, for M5.large to T3.large. So why doing that? Because by doing that, you simply have the same CPU, you have the same memory, but your network performance is divided by 2. So if you don't need the network performance, you might switch the instance family and you will save here some money. Now also, if you want to upgrade it at the same time, so moving it to T4G.large, which is the Graviton instances, you are saving even more money for the same CPU and same memory. So one big example here. So this is my EC2 instance here. I'm in the monitoring section and I can see that my CPU utilization is very low, meaning my instance need to be right size. So it's around 12% here for the last 2 weeks, and we want to change that. One in here, the memory metrics are not shown by default, so you must enable it with the CloudWatch agent. So with those metrics here, you can only change the CPU utilization. To do that, you can use Compute Optimizer, for example, and you will have multiple choice. You can see that this is over provisions, and if you click it, you will directly go. This is my instance 668.8x large, which have 32 on CPU, which is too much. And you can see that the choices of Compute Optimizer doesn't change here the memory because I don't have any metrics here. But we might want to divide the CPU to 8, so divided by 4. And by doing so, the CPU utilization will go higher here. To estimate the savings, you can use the AWS calculator. So simply go to that link and select EC2 service to compare the generation prices. So in my example just before, here, if I right size this one to this one in the Oregon region, I will save over $600 per month for a single instance, and I'm gonna save 67%. To find them all, you can simply use Cost Optimization Hub service, and if you filter by EC2 with the resource type and recommended action to right size, you will have all your estimated monthly savings here. And you can see the difference. So the current resource you are having and the recommended instance size AWS is proposing you. And you also have the estimated monthly savings in percentage here. To fix it, simply right size your EC2 instances The difficulty might be medium depending on if your instances are on production, because you need to stop the instance before changing its type. So you might want to use EC2 autoscaling or create a new instance and migrate the data on production. Otherwise, in AWS, simply go to EC2 Service and Instances section. Then you select one stopped instance, click on Action, Instance Settings, and change instance type. And then you have a pop-up and you can select your new instance type.